Welcome back to the Earth server audit. Last week we data mined the Nineveh tablets and discovered that our history is basically a series of patch notes. But today we're looking at why the dev team actually split. Imagine a AAA studio where the lead programmer and the project manager hate each other's guts. That's Enki and Enlil. In the Sumerian source code, these two aren't just gods. They're biological engineers with totally different visions for the human build. Enki is the open source guy. He wants us to have the god mode tech. Enlil, he's the corporate admin who thinks we're a bug in the system that needs to be patched out. But why the hate? It goes back to the Igigi Strike. Before humans were even a concept, the devs had a lower tier workforce of minor deities, the Igigi, mining the gold for the server's atmospheric shields. After 40 periods of labour, the Igigi burned their tools and went AFK. These weren't just disgruntled workers, they were a subclass of Anunnaki who had been running the Earth server's heavy lifting for 3,600 years. The tablets say they dug the trenches for the Tigris and Euphrates, basically setting up the server's initial irrigation and cooling systems. When they burned their spades and surrounded Enlil's headquarters, it was a total system shutdown. The Igigi were the original hardware maintenance crew, and they realised they were being exploited. Enlil's first instinct was delete all. He wanted to execute the strikers and find a new way to mine the resources. Enki, however, suggested a workaround: automate the labour. That automation was the creation of the human build. He proposed taking the divine spark of a sacrificed leader of the strikers and mixing it with the primate code. From day one, we were Enki's solution to Enlil's management failure, and Enlil never let that grudge go. He saw us as a constant reminder of the day he lost control of his own workforce. Enki, the Lord of the Abzu, was the lead bioengineer. He's the one who took the Anunnaki essence and spliced it into the local primate code to create the Lulu Build. To him, we were his masterpiece. He wanted us to have Maze, the ancient equivalent of software programs for civilization. These Maze weren't just religious ideas, they were the operating system for a global society. In the Enki and Enlil tablets, we see a list of over 100 Maze. This isn't just a list of stuff, this is a list of functionalities. We're talking about the art of the hero, the art of the scribe, and even the kindling of fire. If you look at these as digital assets, Enki was essentially handing over the Anunnaki's proprietary tech stack to the humans. He was giving the player characters the same tools the devs used. Think about it, the tablets list Maze for everything from kingship and law to music and even metallurgy. These were functional data disks. Enki was constantly sneaking unauthorized updates to humanity, teaching us agriculture, astronomy and high-level mathematics. He didn't just want a worker class, he wanted a legacy. In the myth of Enki and the world order, he literally walks around the map, initializing the rivers, the grain and the livestock. He wasn't just a creator, he was sysadmin, setting up the initial world parameters so the players could actually survive without constant dev intervention. He was essentially a rogue dev, leaking the source code to the players behind the project manager's back. This is why Enlil was so livid. Enki didn't just create a worker, he created a competitor. By giving us the maze, Enki gave us the ability to build our own sub-servers, cities like Eridu and Nippur that didn't strictly follow the admin's original mining directives. We started playing the game our own way and the admin was losing his mind over the lack of compliance. Then you have Enlil. He never wanted the human build in the first place. To him, the Earth server was supposed to be a quiet, high-resource mining operation for the Igigi. But once the human population started lagging the server with their noise and expansion, Enlil decided it was time for a hard reset. We see this in the Atrahasis epic. Enlil complains that the clamour of mankind is keeping him awake. In gamer terms, the server was overpopulated, the FPS was dropping, and the admin decided to wipe the map. This wasn't a moral judgment, it was a resource management decision. He looked at the server logs and saw a massive memory leak. Us. Notice the sequence of his debuffs. First, he tried a 6-year famine. He throttled the resource spawns, cutting off the rain and the grain updates. Then when that failed to reduce the player count because Enki showed the humans how to fossil fuel their way out of it, Enlil pushed a plague patch to thin the herd. Each time Enki found a workaround or a medicine code to keep the server running. Enlil's hard reset wasn't just a one-time thing. The flood was the final desperate format C, because Enki's open source humanity had become too resilient to simply debuffs. Enlil realised that as long as the humans had the maze, they would keep finding exploits in his resets. He convinced the councils of devs to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, to ensure that no one warned the players that the delete command was coming. He wanted a total unannounced server wipe. He made the devs swear by the great oath to keep the flood a secret, effectively trapping the player base in a kill zone with no warning. This is the best part of the lore. Enlil made all the devs swear an oath not to warn humans about the coming flood, but Enki found a glitch. He went to Ziusudra's reed hut and spoke to the wall, saying, "Wall, listen to me. Build a boat, save the seeds of life." He didn't tell a human, he told a static object. Technical compliance at its finest. He found the ultimate loophole in the admin's NDA. By speaking to the reeds of the wall, he wasn't technically warning a human, he was just narrating to the environment. But he knew Ziusudra was on the other side of that wall, listening to every word of the leaked code. This seed of life wasn't just animals on a wooden boat. If you look at the technical translation, it sounds more like a biological backup drive and DNA stored in a waterproof submersible. The dimensions given for the boat in the Atrahasis and Gilgamesh epics describe a perfect cube, a shape that is aerodynamically and hydrodynamically impossible for a sailing ship, but perfect for a pressurized survival pod designed to be tossed in a 360-degree storm. Enki was backing up the server data before Enlil hit the Format C button. He was preserving the DNA assets in an encrypted vault. He even gave Ziusudra a pilot, a navigator who knew the secret coordinates of the mountains where the water would recede first. Enki was the ultimate white hat hacker, saving the database from his own project manager's scorched earth policy. He ensured that when the waters cleared, the Humanity Build V2 would be ready to repopulate the map immediately. So where are we now? The devs left the server thousands of years ago, but the conflict remains. Are we still Enki's legacy, or are we Enlil's oversight? Look at our tech today. We're rediscovering the same maze Enki leaked: gene editing, global networks, and space travel. We are basically rebuilding the Anunnaki's tech stack from the ground up, with the James Webb Telescope spotting anomalies in the deep server, Nibiru's path. It looks like the devs might be coming back to check their work. The infrared scans are showing a massive body with a heat signature that doesn't match a cold planet. Is it a ship, a mobile server? Whatever it is, it's on an elliptical orbit that brings it back to our local area network every few thousand years. Are they coming back to push a new patch? Or is the admin finally coming to finish the format C command he started during the flood? If you're still at level 1, it's time to grind. The next update isn't a rumour, it's in the code. We're seeing the admin warnings everywhere: climate shifts, geomagnetic anomalies, and a sudden rush to become a multi-planetary species. It's like we know the server is about to undergo a massive maintenance cycle. Subscribe to stay in the meta. I'll see you in the next patch update.